Alright, everyone. Hello. Welcome to session 2. Good to have you back. My name's Jared. I'm from Ident IT. And today we have cybersecurity for small business, the social media spotlight. Good to see you all again. So these are, our free webinars that we're delivering to business to just help with understanding, to help those small business who are just starting up. I mean, as a small business owner myself, I understand we all have enough on our plate. You know what I mean? We have things we have to attend to daily. We have clients we need to service. We have accounts we need to sort out. We have marketing, plenty of things on your plate. Something that many of you may be not considering or overlooking, and it's fair enough that you are busy, but it is probably your cybersecurity, how secure you are as a business from external threats targeting you for cybercrimes. And as a business consultancy based in helping businesses, one thing I can do to increase sort of my client base, of course, and also to help awareness, to help train, is just offer these little free webinars. So we only spend about 30 minutes. Make sure you grab your coffee. And make sure you're got a notepad out. These sessions will be recorded. They're put live on Facebook. They're put live on YouTube. Make sure you follow us over there on both those social media platforms. You can watch and comment back on these anytime you like. But let's get into it. So today, these formats will be roughly similar, but the content covered in each webinar will be different. So today, we have the social media spotlight. Now, what do I mean by social media spotlight? Well, we'll go into more detail soon, but I mean businesses based on the social media scope. So if you have an online shop that sells goods or services and you advertise on social media, or your business pages are on social media, if you are a business that wholly exists via social media, there is all types. There is 1,000,001 different business strategies that involve a very large portion or only social media as their form of marketing, as their form of sales, as their form of client engagement, client recording, anything based on these platforms. So we're talking Facebook, we're talking Instagram, we're talking Twitter, we're talking TikTok, we're talking so many others. Websites themselves, if you have client information and you have clients engage and share that website on social media platforms. So it covers a lot. It covers a lot, but it's not as broad as all business. So this is a spotlight, this is social media, and we want to talk about the threat analysis, firstly, for social media. We'll talk once again about security advice, how you can protect yourself, and then we'll go through, some important dates and other things coming up. Now, just going to pause here for a second and make sure that we have sound coming through. Yep, you would have heard me double talk there for a second. I was just making sure that the first session we did, session 0, had a little bit of sound issue. Just checked, no sound issue, we're all good. So, onto the threat analysis. So, we're focusing on social media here. Now, we will have space for questions. If you're in the live stream here, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you get your coffee. Make sure you're relaxed. We will have time for conversation, for questions. Please, by all means, do not hesitate to ask any questions you have over there in the chat. I can see the YouTube chat, the Facebook chat, and later on down the road, if you have questions when you watch this back later, by all means, please leave a comment. Reach out to me in my emails or direct message me. Happy to engage with you in any way if you have any questions. Okay. Alright, but let's focus on the first aspect here of threat analysis. So, you may have heard of account takeovers. This is the key thing when you have a social media business account. If it's a personal account that links to a business account, you pay for marketing, whatever you may do on social media. One of the major aspects I always came across with people who used to contact me when I was working in scam and theft and fraud mitigation was account takeovers. So these social media platforms, you have to understand, they have hundreds and millions, if not billions of users. It's most likely these days we're in the billions, we're definitely in the billions of users, Mark. I mean, these users are innumerable. What that means is there's no feasible way because it's all about money at the end of the day. There's no feasible way that these huge organizations are going to have the customer service ability to look at each individual client's needs, to look at your particular account takeover, your particular theft or stolen information. They rely on bots, they rely on AI interactions, they rely on these automated services to sort out your customer service experience. What that means is, if your account is taken and critical information about you is changed, it's very, 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 I can't stress this enough, very difficult, nigh impossible to recover that account if it was done in a very thorough way. So the things that you need to look out for in account takeover, and if you don't know what it means, actually, sorry, first I should explain. I'm coming here thinking account takeover, fairly common knowledge, everyone should understand what this means. But just in case you haven't come across this before, account takeover is what we discuss when someone has their complete social media account. It could be on a site like Facebook, it could be on Instagram. It's when someone has their password changed, they go to log into their account, they can't, the password's different. They go to reset their password, they try and give the information that links their account, their email address or phone number, comes back, that information's not true, it's been changed. What has happened is someone has taken your password, whether they cracked it, hacked it, took it off you from another method. Someone has taken that password, logged into your account and changed your emails, your phone numbers, whatever information about you, secured that account in your name. Now, when someone does this, it's very, very difficult to recover the account, because when you go to change the password, the actual owner of the account, what do these sites look to verify about you? They look to verify your username, your email, your phone number, but those things have been changed by someone who had your information. That person now has all your information, has your accounts, and you, as the original user, are going to struggle to recover that account. So this is a big one. This is a very, very big one, because what can someone do with all that access, with that account? That's the problem. And you can see here, one of the photos I have here on the slide here is, people will use these taken accounts to scam your client base, to scam your friends, to defraud people, and it'll look like it's coming from you. If that's a business page, just imagine what could happen for your business if that page was taken. All the people, all the clients, all the contacts you have on that page started getting messages about, hey, you know what, as a client of mine, I value you, and I've come across a fantastic opportunity. I've been making money on it for years, but I wanted to share it with you. Now, I know this sounds extremely dodgy, but please, only at your own discretion, maybe use this website to invest some money on. Now, it may not work every time, but if it works on 1 out of 100 clients, that's one of your clients that is now being defrauded because your account was taken. So it can be very horrible. And that leads into the second point, imposter accounts. These are accounts that are made that look exactly like the accounts they target. So take your business account, right? Your business page on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it may be. It could be your personal, if you're an influencer or someone who uses your name, your followers to earn money or market, that kind of thing. It could be your name, your image, it could be your brand, your logo. That sits here. Someone creates another account that sits here that looks exactly the same as it in all aspects. Now, if you report that account, is it legal? Will it get deleted? Yeah, it may do. It may do. Once again, we're talking billions of users. What's the odds that account is going to get taken seriously before damage is done? It's not high. It's not high. So those imposter accounts can cause a lot of harm, because someone comes looking for your account, your logo, your brand, your business. They accidentally go to this other account, other brand, other business. And these people are smart. They know how to place these pages so that they do get traffic, they do get views. And all of a sudden, your business's reputation can get ruined. They can start posting horrible content or start defrauding people, saying they're selling your product, pay this, but they pay, the product never arrives, and they then transfer to your website to deal with customer complaints. So, and these things typically come in packages. If your website, for instance, is not safe, your website is exploited, and links to your social media, your pages where things are done are compromised, those links could be sent to these imposter accounts, and all of a sudden it looks like they're doing business with you, but they are not. So these are the threats that can happen. It all works together. One of the ways that these things can happen is the third point there, phishing and malware. Now, that's one we've discussed before. The next three are ones we've discussed in the basics, but it's because those basics, as I mentioned, were the foundation to protecting yourself online. Now, those same things we mentioned in Chapter 1, and if you haven't seen Chapter 1, the Essentials webinar, I would suggest you go back and watch it to familiarize yourself, because we're not going to go into too much detail about these next three, because, these are a series of streams. You need to watch that first one, and this second one will make a whole lot more sense. But phishing and malware, just briefly, are some of the ways that people will take your accounts, or you clone your accounts. The information they get from sending you phishing emails or fake login, they'll malware that can sort of corrupt your login, take your information, log your keys. There's so many different viruses, so many different ways these people can engineer an outcome where they have that information, they use it to take these accounts or clone these accounts. So that's to be looked at for. And we mentioned web exploits there, the possibility that someone exploits your website to inject code, to put links onto that website that are going to direct people to the wrong locations, and these could be those clone accounts. So this is why making sure that you're checking constantly for domains, subdomains, cloned websites, cloned accounts, you need to stay on top of this to protect your brand, to protect your business, to protect yourself. The last one that really we've talked about already, but really comes hand in hand with social media, is social engineering. A large part of the scams, the threats that occur in social media space are, as you can see that bottom graph there, are fraud. Now, fraud is commonly done through social engineering. It's when someone has a little bit to a lot of information about you, or it could just be generic scam emails, scam theft messages looking like it comes from a trusted source. Could be a fake government website, a fake charity website, whatever it may be. It could come from a friend whose account's been taken, or a friend who looks like a friend's account that's been cloned. Fraud is the number one thing that gets people on social media, because people unfortunately trust, and I mean, that's not a bad thing, but social media can be very anonymous in many ways, and that anonymity comes at a cost, comes at a price. You think you're interacting with a client you've had for many years, that client's account was taken. You start giving that client information or payments or services that you thought were paid for, or refund a payment that they made to an account they give you. That wasn't the client, that was a scammer, that was a criminal, and that client is now out, you're now out, information's been taken. It's a horrible downward spiral. So protecting yourself in this space is extremely important, and unfortunately very difficult given the large numbers we're talking about here. I just want to pause for a second, make sure we have any questions. No, it doesn't look like we have any questions in the live chats here. Once again, if any of this is moving too fast for you, if you have concerns, if you are someone who operates in the social media space, by all means, please at any point in time ask a question, or later on the comments or emails, please hit me up and I'll make sure to reply as quick as I can. This is a space to learn. As much as this is a space for me to maybe raise awareness of some of these things, especially in my local area on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. If you're a business based around here and you've seen my posts through networking or through people I know, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve knowledge and learning so you can protect yourself. And hopefully we don't have to come in there and, deal with a threat that's happened. So now let's look at the second thing. How you can protect yourself, right? So we've talked about the threats, I talked about the advice based on security. Now I can see here that my camera is blocking this a little bit, so I'm just going to shrink myself a little bit. I'm just going to, there I go. Sorry, 1 second. On the fly. So this is some security advice to help protect yourself on these social media platforms. Now, two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, these were talked about the first time we did session 1, okay? So once again, go back, listen there, but this one's probably going to appear in every bit of security advice I ever give because it's so important. Those social media accounts, the emails that link to those social media accounts, they need to be protected. Forms of authentication, emails, other email addresses, phones that receive codes, tokens. I don't especially love tokens, but they're better than nothing. Any method you have to increase security, to increase the authentication levels on these accounts is necessary. As I said, once these accounts are taken, the odds of you recovering them, getting them back, they're not high. So It's important to make sure they are as secure as possible, and having those extra layers of authentication are critical. Now, if you have any issue setting these things up, there's fantastic resources online that guide you through how to install like an authenticator key, like a mobile application on your phone. There's free ones available. There's so many options, okay? Once again, reach out if you have any questions about that, but it's necessary to have those kinds of things. The other one, which people are aware of, I would say, but can come as a surprise to some, is not every application you can download through the Play Store or through the Apple Store is safe. Some of these ones, sorry, my headset's just decided to die a little bit. Let me just turn that back on. Is safe. Some of them start off that way, but the code that built them can be corrupted. Some of it is open source. Now, that can be confusing for some people, but basically it means when these applications are built, sometimes there can be bits of information, bits of code in the way these applications were created that can cause you harm. It could be tracking. And that can be tracking your location, where you go, what you do. It could be tracking things you do, what you use your phone for, what websites you access, information about you, where you put it. And when you give some of these applications permissions, and you can look at these through settings on your social media accounts, through your phone, through your computer, you can check what applications have what permissions, what applications can track your location, that kind of thing. I would suggest, as much as possible, to make sure that these applications are not tracking locations, are not tracking information. Once again, we tend to trust, okay? And we shouldn't trust these things inherently, okay? A lot of these applications, a lot of these programs, they're there to help us, right? They're marketed to help us, but they're there to make money. How do they make money? If they're free. Well, if something's free, guess what? You look at it, you're the product. If something is given to you for free, how are these people making money? They're making it off you. How are they making money? Off your information. Off information about you, what you do. They're selling that to companies that use that information to create analytics, to create bots that help marketing, help sales, drive things like this. So it's a fact of the world we live in. There's nothing that's going to really change it. You just need to be aware of it. You need to make sure that you're checking your settings, checking these apps you download, making sure you're checking comments and reviews about new apps that you might download. Just really do your research on these things, okay? Make sure you're checking permissions, especially location tracking, that kind of thing. As a business owner, you need to be very aware that your small business based on a social media platform is a very rich and ripe target for criminals, okay? Controlling information. By that I mean your information. As we just said, your information is valuable, okay? People can use it to sell. It's valuable information. Criminals can use it to scam you, to scam others. Information, knowledge is power. We've all heard that statement before. So control the level of information displayed, okay? If you're someone of a public presence, a public face, you use your image to sell, to drive clients to market, that's obviously the price that you pay. Your anonymity is not something you can achieve if that's the way you market, you sell. However, making sure that information you display is low risk information. By that I mean location information is high risk. We should never be displaying location information. Information about what emails or phone numbers, information about emails and phone numbers that is public should never be the email and phone numbers that is secure. Those are the emails that secure your accounts, secure important things for you online. If you have a publicly displayed email or a publicly displayed phone number, that should not be the one that is securing your information, because the second someone has that, well, look, we've just ticked off 1-2 layers of authentication that someone can now look at trying to corrupt. So what I mean about controlling information is use or display information about you wisely, okay? I'm not looking to have you live under a rock as a hermit, okay? But I am looking to tell you that every bit of information you share is a little bit more information that someone who's going to defraud you or attempt to scam you has to be able to convince you or convince your clients that they are legitimate, that they are someone who they're not, okay? So it's scary to think about, but it's a fact, okay? So it's something you need to look at, live with, and adjust the way you do things. Okay, now that obviously you can talk to experts about this. There's once again fantastic resources online about this type of thing, how to make sure the information you're handing out, you're giving, you're displaying is not critical information that could harm you. Now, these two things were covered in session 1, but training and vulnerability assessments, okay? Can't get through this enough. What you're doing here, if you're here watching this video, well, you're doing number 4 right there. You're looking at educating yourself. You're training yourself what to look out for, how to secure yourself. This is perfect, okay? But there's more that you can do. There's more resources. There's many free resources via government websites, other individuals like me who want to help you do the best you can. And of course, there is paid programs. You know, Ident IT offers paid training. We can do in person, over Zoom. We have workshops available to actually show you these scams in process and, you know, given the correct permissions and sign off and waivers, you know, because technically what I do, security advice and penetration testing, ethical hacking, is only available, only legal with permission, right? I am here to help, not harm. The ones that harm, well, they do these things without permissions. The ones that help, we get your permission, we show you just how bad it can be. Now, I can do that for your training, for your workshops, to show you how bad it can get, to show you the ways how to stop it, how to protect against it, and how to recover from it, okay? Vulnerability assessments goes hand in hand with training. It's all well and good to think that you've had enough training to identify these scams, frauds, cybercriminal events, hacks, whatever it may be, but these things are changing daily, okay? I mean, from day to day, we discover new zero-day vulnerabilities in programs. We discover new and crazy ways that hackers and people looking to abuse these lines of code or problems that are found in new applications. These are happening every day, and some of them have been known since launch. Some of them won't get found out until they're used in a hack. So it's about making sure that you have an expert. It doesn't have to be me, of course. I hope it is. I hope you look at sort of our services and see the value in them. But I would encourage everyone to making sure that if they operate in the social media space, they have had at least just one startup conversation with any type of cybersecurity expert to just see and understand what the vulnerabilities they have, because everyone's different. Everyone's social media profile is different. Everyone information, how they sell, how they market, it's all different on social media. Everyone does it differently, which means you have a different set of vulnerabilities to the next person. So that's why you need someone who understands and is trained to help you know where your vulnerabilities are and protect yourself from them. Now, the next thing is important dates. So this stream was supposed to be yesterday. However, I live in suburbia, okay? I have a home lab that I work out of that has all the necessary equipment for me, a secure environment for me to do what I need to do. However, it is based in suburbia. I do have neighbors, and one of those neighbors is having a pool installed. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Now, it was extremely loud here, so I chose to delay the stream a day. Here it is, though. It's live. We're here. It's recorded. I do apologize for the delay, but the last thing I wanted you all to hear was just scraping and pounding of dirt and heavy machinery in the background while I'm trying to have you concentrate on my beautiful face. So that's the reason we're one day late with this one. I do apologize, but you know, we're here. We're live. Hopefully that makes up for it. The next date here, so you would have already, if you were putting your business basic grant registration of interest, that should have already been in. Please make sure, if you've missed out, I apologize, but it should have already been in. The full applications, if you're shortlisted, will be going in from the 12th of the 12th. So we're looking at, 5 days? So if you're shortlisted, be looking to put those grant applications in between the 12th of the 12th and the 23rd of the 4th, and 23rd of the 1st, sorry, apologies, I can read. And then the last free webinar, session 3 for this year, these will continue next year, don't you worry. These will continue next year. Plenty of more content to come. The next one will be happening on the 15th of the 12th, and there I'll be taking you through an example vulnerability assessment. Now, I've mentioned it in 2 webinars so far and said how critical and how important it is, but so far, I haven't shown you what they do. Many people I would suggest, would probably be unaware of what a vulnerability assessment looks like, what it is, what it covers, how much information it really can help you identify as to what your risk may look like. So I want to guide you through a vulnerability assessment, guide you through why it's essential, why it's helpful, show you some information that's really going to sort of change the way you think about your business, your security, and just how valuable that type of assessment can be, and how life-changing it can be. I mean, some of the things that we've seen, some of the things I've seen as someone who works with victims of cyber crimes, you want to do everything you can to not put yourself in that position, okay? And I think I can hear the pool starting up again. I think break's over, folks. So let's have a look here. What do we got next? Questions. I can see we've got a couple of viewers here in the live chat. Please feel free to stop, ask any questions. We have a couple of minutes here left on the stream. Now's a good time to ask if you've been relaxing. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everything came off okay. The sound, everything is working properly. Content creation is one of my passions, but typically operate in a different category, live media content more than cybersecurity. But this has been great to sort of share information. So there's my social media links. You can reach out to me via the Dent IT website, where we also host these links to these webinars. You have my email addresses there. You can see there the packages we're offering as a very sort of focused, discounted packages to anyone looking at offering or going for the Queensland Business Basic Grants. I will say that the cybersecurity aspect of that, making sure your application is well-rounded, so including some business or life coaching, some marketing, and then potentially some cybersecurity. I think, judging from my discussions with the people involved in these grants, making sure you have a well-rounded growth plan for your business to make sure it's profitable and successful is what we're looking at here. You want well-rounded, and there's no point growing and being successful if you're leaving your security in the dust behind you, because all that growth, all that success, well, it can change real quick if you become the victim of a horrible hack or a horrible scam or fraud. So making sure that you grow sustainably and grow secure is very important to us. And we've got some discount packages here to make sure that we can target those things for your business that are the most important to you, and make sure that you're growing the best way you possibly can. All right, so we're going to end the stream there, folks. I appreciate you being here with us today. Once again, always happy to do these webinars. I look forward to more of them in the future. I just realized that my face is hiding the website address, so we'll just hide that a little bit. Actually, we'll make it a bit bigger and we'll move us over here. Hey, there we go, folks. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate everyone hanging out with these streams. The reaction to these has been fantastic, so I really do appreciate all of you. I need to do a bit better with the marketing for these to sort of hopefully reach a wider audience. I really think there's value to be had in these free webinars for people. A lot of information, and opening up the discussion is the starting point for people to ask these questions. It can be very scary to put yourself in that position to think that your business may be at risk, but it's important to have these discussions. So please reach out anytime. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I'll let you guys get back onto the rest of your busy schedules and days, and I wish you all the success, okay? Best of luck. Ciao for now.